Workup is an era that comes about from 1652 when the Dutch East India Company took over the Cape, and in 1934 it was declared the Cape Malay Quarter by people, and predominantly Malay, Cape Malay people had to live here. The meaning of Workup is derivative of the Dutch form Werfen, which means top, the German word Kapen, which means cape, Workup, top cape. You'll find it has a diverse architectural diversions here. You find in the monumental area typical Cape Dutch style houses, typical Cape Georgian style houses, a mixture of both styles. Generally, Malay people were always fond of colors, pale pastel shades. In the last 10 to 14 years, you find the brighter colors have come out, and people have now painted their houses all these bright colors. You find people in general are friendly. They're very open. They welcome anybody. You find that they would often stop and give tourists advice. They would talk to tourists. You find it's an era where people are very easy. Find there's a difference between Malaysian cuisine and Cape Malay cuisine. Malaysian Malay food is very strong, very spicy. It often has a bland taste to it because you find there's a little bit too much spices used. Because people didn't have the availability of all of the spices here at the Cape, you also find they had to cook for their Dutch owners, they had to cook for their British owners. They simmer down on the spices, which today food is spicy, not strong, easily palatable by all types of people in the world.
What's your ancestry?
According to my grandparents, they all look like short, slanty eyes, and I asked them why I look like that. So they told me that their great-grandparents came from an island called Sumatra, Bugis. And so their grandparents were all enslaved people. From my father's side was Indian again, but from my mother's side was totally Indonesian. That time it was known as the Dutch East Company, Dutch East Company.
That is Indian Company.
Indian Company, that's correct. Up till 1834 we were set free.
So it's the Dutch that actually brought us.
The Dutch brought us here, and my grandparents never wanted me to speak English. They said that I must speak Dutch, Hollands, Netherlands. But then Afrikaans was developed. So they spoke High Dutch, 1900, they spoke very High Dutch. Before the Boerenoorlog, the war, they spoke Dutch. Then it became Afrikaans. And you must remember the Muslim community, or the Malay community, if I may use that term, was very, very sophisticated in their work. They were tailors, they brought us their skills over here. We were not settlers, we were not immigrants, and we were not refugees. We were brought in chains. Chains. So we would not steal the land from the Khoisan or the blacks. But we brought our skills with, we brought our customs with, we brought our religion with. Tailors, bricklayers, carpenters. So we in the Western Cape developed South Africa. And some of our people went up to Port Elizabeth as fishermen, some went up to Joburg, Johannesburg. So we spread our skills throughout South Africa. So we're the soil of the Western Cape. They speak Afrikaans, they sing, they read English, they sing Dutch, and they recite Arabic. Can you ever see this uniqueness in the Malay community especially? And they also sort of developed the Afrikaans language. The Afrikaans language never belonged to the Afrikaner. It started the interstrictions in the Boerkamp. So we've been here for over 300 years. And we haven't, I would say, that we actually still kept our religion up till today, 335 years or 340 years ago. So we are the soil of the Western Cape. But the Khoisan, those people who came here. And you cannot tell you what happened. When the Malay slaves revolted against the Dutch, some of our Karamata saints, and they were protected by the Khoisan. That's why we find them in Cape Point. And you can see all the shrines here. They were royalty. These slaves that came here, these saints were royalty. Prince Sheikh Yusuf. I don't know where, maybe I got the dash of that royalty, I'm not sure. So we as the Malay people of Cape Town, we were isolated for centuries. And when the system of apartheid came in, we were more isolated. But we kept the flag flying. And by the way, we were also very active in politics. Dr. Abdul Rahman, Sisi Gul, they were all active Muslims in the political scenarios here in the Western Cape. And during the last riots, we were very active, like myself. But I want to speak about myself. Any other question?
Can you just tell me so you're saying that the people that came here were royalty in Indonesia?
Yeah.
So they were really political prisoners?
Prisoners, they were prisoners and political exiles.
Political exiles.
And they were enslaved by the Dutch.
Okay.
And the Dutch liked them because they didn't drink, they were honest people, and they taught the Quran to my guru on the quarry up there. So they were very highly civilized, cultural people. But they kept the Islamic flag going. That's why we are still sitting here after 300 years. That was so marvelous about these people. Absolutely marvelous.
Today I'm going to be speaking about some of my favorite Cape Malay treats. My very good friend Zubaida just so happens to be of Cape Malay origin, so I'm quite clued up on these things, you know. The Cook Sister, derived from the Dutch word koekje. I don't know if that's how you say it, but no, I'm not Dutch. Koekje, koekje, which translates into cookie, and I'm not speaking about your genitals. There are two versions of this popular treat. The Afrikaner koeksister, which is twisted into a braid shape and coated in sugar. And then there are koesisters, the Cape Malay version, which is a spicy treat finished with a sprinkle of coconut. The sabura, traditional Cape Malay biscuits, subtly flavored with spices and rosewater. I can actually see a trend here, eh? Most of these sweet Cape Malay treats are usually flavored with some sort of spice. Some people believe that if you put spice with your sugar, you won't get diabetes. This is not true, don't believe it. Mary Ann's. These things are everywhere. I see them at weddings, parties, eat lunches, you name it. They are butter biscuits made with ground cardamom and vanilla essence. They are usually made into shapes like stars and hearts and decorated with hundreds and thousands. Yo, as a child, I would maul for these biscuits, eh? I would stuff my little Becky with like 2 or 3 of those biscuits. Oh, heck, even today I do it. What a time to be alive. The snowball, a cake-like treat coated in pink coconut. It is neither cake, nor pie, nor cookie, but has a cake-like texture and molded and shaped to look like a scone. And it has to be pink, otherwise it's not a true Cape Malay snowball. Sometimes I see blue snowballs, yellow snowballs even. Just, if you run out of red food coloring, tough! Either don't make a snowball or use beetroot juice and soak your coconut in there for so 10 minutes. It will come out pink. Don't eat yellow snowballs. I thought we knew this. Six-man for the lamington. Its origins are unknown, but I doubt it's Cape Malaysian. They eat lamingtons in England and Australia and in South Africa. All over the world actually. But these popular South African treats consists of square sponge cake coated first in a layer of chocolate and then desiccated in coconut. Sometimes when people want to be special, they will have 2 halves of lamington separated by a layer of jam or cream. Afrikaners sometimes call these treats eystervarkies, which means hedgehogs, because obviously these small square cake things look like hedgehogs. Kind of actually does, eh? Nah. And then last but definitely not least, actually my favorite Cape Malaysian dessert, boober. Boeber is a traditional Cape Malay sweet milk drink made with sago, sugar and flavored with cardamom, stick cinnamon and rose water. The drink is traditionally served on the 15th night of Ramadan to celebrate the middle of the fast, aka the Boeber Jol. I live for the Boeber Jol. So it's a kind of a reward for those people who survived the first 15 days of the fast. And those people are known as the people who are op die berg, which means they have reached the summit of their fasting journey. Op die berg or bo die berg. Bo berg. Boeber. If you didn't know, now you know. And a Boeber Jol is basically when you and your friends eat Boeber all night and Jol. It's fabulous.